Good evening. It's 9 p.m. here in South Korea. Thank you for joining us on Arirang뉴스. To wrap up his busy week of diplomacy, President Yoon Suk Yeol hosted the leaders of the European Union at his office for a summit this evening. The two this year are celebrating the 60th anniversary of their diplomatic ties, and during the summit decided to expand further on what they have already achieved. For more, our Do-yeon is at the Yongsang presidential office. So Do-yeon, what are some key takeaways from the summit?
Well, that is right, Jiyoung. As you mentioned, President Yoon hosted European Council President Charles Michel and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen at his office earlier today. Now, it's important to note that this trip from both of the European Union leaders to South Korea was the first time in 11 years. President Yoon emphasized the three partnerships that they wanted to expand beyond what they have so far. Take a listen.
첫째, 우리는 그린, 보건, 디지털 분야 3대 파트너십을 강화해 나가기로 했습니다. 한 EU 그린 파트너십 체결을 통해 포괄적 기후 환경 분야 협력을 확대하기로 하였으며 한 EU 보건 비상 대비 대응에 대한 행정 약정 체결을 통해 글로벌 보건 위기 대응을 위한 공조 체제를 확립했습니다.
Now, of the three, the one that stood out was the cooperation in science and technology. On top of the three partnerships signed, the two want to expand in cooperation in innovation. So, according to the joint statement released, this partnership will open doors for South Korea to get into the Horizon Europe Research and Innovation Program. This is a program among the European Union members for advancing science and technology with a budget of more than $100 billion until 2027. In the meantime, it's also important to note that the two will expand further on the safe use of nuclear energy.
Our new green partnership will boost cooperation in areas like renewables and green technology. Importantly, through this partnership, we will strengthen our cooperation on the safe operation of nuclear power, among other issues.
Now, Do-yeon, security was another topic, especially with the war in Ukraine being in their front yards. So what did the two have to say about that and also about North Korea?
You're right, Jiyoung. Russia's war in Ukraine was a hot topic for this summit. Now, according to the joint statement, the two sides acknowledged that the world faces threats to global peace and security, notably the war in Russia and North Korea's nuclear and missile programs. Now, take a listen to what the European Commission President had to say about South Korea's role for Russia's invasion of Ukraine so far.
In a world profoundly shaken by Russia's war on aggression in Ukraine, Russia's blatant violation of the UN Charter and the international law, you condemned this war of aggression from the start. It is all to your credit, and it shows once again the strength of our bond.
The two sides expressed support to ensure accountability for war crimes and other violations of international law committed in Russia's invasion of Ukraine and reiterated the support for the work of the International Criminal Court. As for North Korea, the two condemned the North for missile and nuclear activities while urging them to comply with its obligations under the UN Security Council, telling them the regime has to get rid of its nuclear arsenal in a complete, verifiable, and irreversible way. Lastly, the two agreed to establish a strategic dialogue at foreign ministerial level to enhance cooperation on global peace and security. As you mentioned earlier, this now wraps up President Yoon's week-long of diplomacy, starting with Canadian Prime Minister to the G7 summit to the two summits here in Seoul. Back to you, Jiyoung.
Thank you, Do-yeon, for your thorough report. That was our Do-yeon at the Yongsang presidential office.